week 37 of the $100,000 stock challenge. And man, I got a super informative video for you guys today. So do me a favor, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button. And if you find one thing interesting or learn one thing in this video, please share with a friend. But with that being said, I'm gonna dive directly into it. As you can see by that title, yes, the government is now an investor in the stock market, and it owns these three stocks. It owns 10% of Intel, a company that makes microchips, 15% of a company called MP Materials, a rare earth mining company, and it also owns 10% of Lithium America, which is the biggest lithium deposit company in North America, right? Now I know what you guys are thinking, right? How is this possible? This is possible because the Trump administration passed a new economic strategy act, right? And this is going to strategically impact a lot of corporations in America. So if you don't have, well, let me say this before I dive into that part. I know Donald Trump, he gets on China, right? About this strategy, saying how bad it is, on, you know, how it's going to increase manipulation in the stock market, you know, and all this other bad things about, you know, why the China economics is not good and all this stuff like that. But yet he's doing pretty much the exact same thing that China does, which I think is very ironic, right? But along with these three stocks that the government has bought, it has also something called a golden share, right? Which allows them, which gives the government the veto power over decisions made in these private owned companies, right? Like, I'm talking about over management, budgets, everything, price. So it gives the US government complete control over these companies, right? Complete control. They're just not an investor like me and you. They are actually on the decision making side of these companies, right? So that is very, 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 that's kind of crazy to think about, right? That the government has the power to, you know, make decisions in a private owned company. That's very different, especially in those three sectors, right? Those are three powerful sections of the stock market, right? So with that being said, right, if you don't own shares in those three sectors, like, you know, own at least one, right? If you don't own no type of computer chip company, Nvidia, Intel, etc., right, get in that one, right? If you are Nvidia, cool, right? But if you're not in that, make sure you get in some type of company like MP Materials or some type of mining company, right? And if you're not in some type of battery making company, please get in one, right? At least have one of those type of stocks in your portfolio. For me, I'm an investor in Nvidia, but I really don't know how that's going to go moving forward, because just how, you know, when Tesla first came out, the government gave special incentive to EV owners. They want everyone to drive EV. You know, you got a lot of tax breaks and things in nature. You got the tax credit and all this stuff like that when you bought Tesla / any electric vehicle. But Tesla was the first one, right? So since that happened, and you know, all those special incentives, do you not think that the government is going to make certain decisions to help these sectors of the stock market succeed faster than others, right? It's kind of like, it really shows you which sectors is going to be winners and which sector is going to be losers in the stock market, right? Because for the longest time, the US government only owned two companies, United States Postal Service and Amtrak, and now they're completely investors in these three stocks with a big portion of them, right? And they have complete control over these companies as well, which, you know, is what I'm saying is, right, that the reason why he wanted all these stocks, the reason why he wanted to do all this, because he said he wants to make things in America, right? His whole goal is to make America great again, quote unquote, right? And the only way he does that is by making things in-house, right? But the US government, the economy, I should say, cannot sustain that, right? And why I say things can't sustain that, right, is because inflation right now is through the roof. Inflation is crazy high, right? I went in the store the other day and I seen some peanut butter, some Jif peanut butter, and it was $8. Who in the hell is paying $8 for some peanut butter, right? I'm okay. I'm fuck that. Like, I go look at the eggs. Everybody know eggs prices has been through the roof, right? Here in Colorado, I think the cheapest eggs you could buy on the shelf right now is like $5.39. No exaggeration, right? Went into the consumer goods aisle, right? The deodorant aisle. Deodorant for a 2-pack of Degree deodorant, right? Man, that shit is $11, right? So I'm just asking myself, who the hell can afford this, right? And I think I make decent money, right? I'm a mechanical engineer. My wife is a nurse. I think we bring in decent money, income, right? I think we bring in decent income. But when I look at our financials for the month and I look at how much money we spent, I personally notice the amount of money we spending on groceries, we spending on this, it is continuing to go up month over month over month, right? Because I track this every single month, and I'm noticing that every month it's been going up and up and up and up and up, right? And the reason why I say that the U.S. government can't sustain this is because, right, everything's constantly increasing, right? Prime example. He said, we lowered the housing rates, right? Just that much. But the price of lumber went up again, right? So housing prices still going to remain up. Nothing changed in that situation, right? Homes are currently not affordable, right? It's currently 1,000% not affordable. But with that being said, new jobs are not being produced, right? New jobs are not being produced. So think about all these people that's just now graduating college. You know how hard it is going to be for them to find a job? It is damn near going to be, I'm not going to say impossible because anything is possible, but it's going to be very, very, very hard for new grads to get a job, because in the month of August, there's only 22,000 new jobs produced, right? Only 22,000. That is very, very, very low, right? And then on top of that, right, companies that has been doing mass amounts of layoffs, right? Chevron did a massive amount of layoffs. Boeing did a massive amount of layoffs. P&G, which is a consumer goods company, like they make all the deodorant, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioners. They're doing massive layoffs, right? Because the tariffs are so it's messing everything up, right? He says, it's going to give it bad before it's good. But I'm trying to tell you, a lot of people is not going to sustain that transition, even if it does go from, everything being made in-house is going to be a good thing, right? Which I don't see, because the price is going to continue to rise, because you cannot make these things at a cheaper cost. That's the whole reason why we outsource these things from different countries, right? But the only thing I'm saying is the economy is going to crash, in my personal opinion. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you when, where, how, what day. I can't tell you that, but I'm also just saying, hey, pay attention to the little things, right? Pay attention to the little details. So when the economy do crash and then things do fall down, if you've been on the right side of these things and you've been saving more than you've been spending, you've been actually budgeting appropriately, you're going to be able to take, when the market do crash, you're going to be able to take advantage of it, right? You're going to be able to take advantage of a lot of opportunities that comes around. But I would tell you that the economy is getting very, very, very scary. Prime example, right? Trump, in many videos, you go look at this anywhere, right? He always says the president's job is so easy. It's so easy to be a president, right? A government shutdown should never happen, right? Because the only thing you gotta do is communicate budgets, right? But under the Trump administration, there has been 2 government shutdowns, right? So meaning they can't agree upon budgets. So if the government shutting down is continue to prolong, right, it is going to start the domino effect, man. So do with that knowledge as you please. This is not financial advice. Like I always say, please do your own research and educate your own self. But with that being said, that's all I got for this video. See you guys next week. Peace.